Good day, you beautiful people of YouTube. It's the Mad Marine here, and, well, let's do a quick review, shall we? So today we're going to be talking about AK-47s, or AKs in general, and we're going to be talking about some of the woes and some of the concerns when buying a used AK, or perhaps one that is not factory built, but hey, maybe even factory builts can have some issues, and maybe this will help you out. So we're looking for these warning signs, the troubled tell signs that this AK was not built correctly. And if it was not built correctly, it won't function correctly. Now, all manufacturers have some quality control issues. It doesn't matter who they are. No one builds perfect guns all the time. So there you go. Now, most factory built AKs are, let's just go ahead and say they're good. So if you're buying a brand new AK, probably not much to worry about. There are some things to look out for, like, are the sights straight? Are there any bends in the front sight? So you want to make sure the ears here are good to go. They're not bent, they're not twisted. You want to make sure that the front sight lines up with the rear sight here, and that they're straight and accurate. So those are a couple little warning signs. The other thing you want to watch out for, and I guess we go ahead and need to do a quick safety check, but while we're doing that quick safety check, let's go ahead and talk about you for a brief minute. If you'd be so kind as to please like, share, comment, and subscribe, that would greatly help me out and the channel grow. And if you have any requests or concerns, please feel free to email me. That does help the channel as well, knowing what you guys want to see. And I do appreciate your time as always. But let's do a quick safety check. So, nothing in the barrel, nothing on the face of the bolt, and there's no magazine inserted. So we are good to go. And we're going to fire that off into the fridge, and the fridge lives one more day. Now we've got a second AK here, and we're going to go ahead and do the same thing. Pull it back, nothing in the chamber, nothing on the face of the bolt. I'm going to send it forward. And we're going to fire it off into the fridge. All right. So back to the AKs. What to look for, what not to look for. One of the things to look for is there any rust or corrosion or any of the above? And as you can see right here, there's just a little bit of rust right here. Not a good sign. Does that mean I wouldn't buy this AK? That's not a deal breaker yet. But we'll talk about a few other things as well, of things to look out for. Let's see if I can even get this off right now, or I'll have to try the other one. Alright, so another thing we're going to talk about is rivets. Now, do you see these rivets? Rivets are supposed to be shaped like a dome. These things are flat. So these rivets are flat, and that is not good. Rivets should be round. So if you look at this receiver, you're going to also notice, if you're familiar with AKs, this particular company I don't believe it went in business. And in fact, I think it went out of business a long, long time ago. Which means these AKs are very old. In fact, I'd imagine these things are about 15 to 20 years old. Now, that doesn't matter for an AK. The age of an AK does not matter. And I'll flip it over here and show you that it once upon a time was a parts kit gun. And you can tell because this is on a 1979 Romanian receiver. And another way you can tell it's Romanian is because it has the bend or fold in the stock. The stock comes at an angle. Polish and Yugoslavians come out straight, and Bulgarians come out straight. So there you go. Also, these handguards, they're painted black, but these are actually painted black East German furniture, which is kind of a shame because East German furniture kind of demands a premium. So that's another thing you want to look for. It's just kind of weird paint schemes. So what's the story behind this one? Well, this one actually fails headspace. Talk about that a little bit more in just a second here. So you say, Mad, why is headspace important? Well, you have to have some really nice, expensive gauges to test this. There's plenty of videos that'll show you how it goes in, but you have a go gauge that comes in well, and then you have a no-go gauge. There's also a field gauge you can get as well, but there's the no-go gauge, and if it fails, well, you are going to be in a world of trouble if you fire these. Long story short, a friend of mine got these, and so when I saw them, I first noted the rivets. Now, lousy rivet jobs is not a deal breaker. However, failing the no-go gauge absolutely is a deal breaker. If we were to pull the trigger on these, there's a pretty good chance that they would explode. Now, what would that mean? Well, it could mean the bolt breaks, could mean we blow up the trunnion, could mean we bend the receiver, and none of that is good. Now, is this a problem that is only singled out to AKs? No. ARs do this just all the time as well. These just happen to very, very old garage-built AKs, probably from the early 2000s, is my best guess. Probably 15 to 20 years old. They were bought as parts kits, and they came in, basically the receiver chopped in 3 places, and whoever built these just took them and put the receiver, or just mashed the receiver to the front trunnion, and then installed the rear trunnion, and voila, they had an AK, and they built it themselves. Unfortunately, they built it the wrong way. So what's the fix? The fix is a $6 part. It's a $6 part and probably a few man hours of work and the right tools. And what you're going to have to do is re-headspace the barrel. Once you do that, put some new rivets in it, and the part you're going to need is an oversized barrel pin, and that's like $6 these days, I saw. So for $6 and plus whatever it would cost for some new front rivets, you could get this AK rocking and rolling. I'm not sure what he's going to decide to do with these. It was disappointing that was the outcome of these. However, that is the concern when buying a used AK. And, again, it would be the same concern I would have if I was buying a used AR. However, ARs are much easier to fix than AKs. Very low maintenance. There's a lot of tooling, a lot of knowledge, a lot of skill set you have to actually build AKs, which is kind of cool. Now, let's talk about something else that's important when looking to buy an AK. When looking to buy an AK, you have to be concerned about magazine fit. Now, this is a Croatian mag, and Croatian mags, in my personal opinion so far, have been fairly picky. Let's see if this thing accepts it. It does. It does accept a Croatian mag. So when buying an AK, that was something I would definitely try out. Make sure the magazine well is cut properly. Let's go ahead and try a Magpul Gen 3 mag, and let's see if it fits. Fits in there nice and pretty snug. A little bit of mag wobble, but not awful. Should function fine as long as the head spacing is correct. Now, let's see. Oh, I've got another. This is a, I think this is a Romanian mag. And if you guys know, what in the world? There's a J here. I've been yet to figure out what the J stands for, but if any of you know, let me know and throw me the link of how you know it, because I want to know. But anyway, some mag wobble from side to side. I've seen better, I've seen worse. Should be fine, not an issue. And then we're going to throw in this other mag. I think this is... Which one is this? This might be a Hungarian mag too, I don't know. No, this is not a Hungarian mag. This is a Romanian, I think, too. I don't know. I'll look it up later. But anyway, not much wobble back and forth or forward, but it works as well. So the other thing you could be concerned about when buying an AK. So we've talked about the front sights. We've talked about the handguards. We've talked about the rivets, which is kind of a big tell. And I don't know if you can see on this one, on this particular rivet, there's actually a little bit of space in here. Oh, you can even see it move. So this rivet's kind of worthless at this point, sadly. That's just for show. But sadly, that's just where it is. You want to make sure all this is lined up nice and neat. There's a few other tricks when buying AKs. Oh, the other thing I want to show you is the barrel test. Now, barrel test is not everything, but it is a good idea to do one of these when buying an AK to know if the barrel's just been run hard, or if the gun's been run hard and the barrel life is kind of done. And so what you want to do is go ahead and remove the compensator from the AK and reverse thread pattern here. Now what you want to do is go ahead and get a live round. And this one is a Winchester US production, and put it in there and do the head and just do that. And if you can see a lot of if you can see a lot of the bullet, that's great. That's best. You don't have to push it down in there or anything. Just put it in there and let its own weight determine where it sits, and that's good. That's nice. Try a couple of different. This is, I believe, a Tula. It's decent. Works. That'll do. Which one's this? I'm not sure which one this is. But yeah, we can see the bullet. We're good. If the AK is eating the bullet, barrel's done. It's not going to be very accurate. Will it work? I think it would work probably just fine. AKs shoot way more rounds than ARs, which is fact. There are AKs that have hundreds of thousands of rounds. You know, most ARs, most M16s, you're getting that 20, 30, 40,000 rounds through the barrels. AKs, you could easily get double, triple that, depending on where they're from and how well built they are. ARs will last if you take good care of them, but they just don't last as long. That's my 2 cents, and that's just my experience from when I was in the Marine Corps doing this. The AR barrels will last 20, 30, 40,000 rounds max, and then after that, they're done. But they do get run pretty hard and beat up pretty well. The likelihood of you running 20, 30,000, 40,000 rounds, you know, through an AK these days at these prices at 50, you know, like that would be $20,000 if you did 40,000 rounds. So with current prices. So, but anyway, just some things to look for when buying AKs. Thankfully, my friend and I did the right move and checked the head spacing on these two, and they're out of spec, and we saved ourselves possibly some injuries, a lot of embarrassment, and, you know, we're either going to fix these things up or sell them off as parts, or who knows. But that's just some things to consider when buying AKs. Do an inspection, do some checks. I hope this helps you guys out. Anyway, again, please like, share, comment, and subscribe. Sorry for the long video, but hopefully this helps somebody out at some point. And I will catch you later. Mad Marine signing off.